This episode of The Horror Show is brought to you by HelloFresh. Use the promo code HorrorShow30 over at HelloFresh.com and receive $30 off your first week of deliveries. HelloFresh does the shopping, planning, and delivery, so all you have to do is hustle, bustle, and enjoy this holiday season. This episode is also brought to you by... You like that read, didn't you? Yeah. This episode is also brought to you by a ton of Patreon members who we love so much. And thank you all so much for your support this holiday. I've got some really sweet stuff planned. As you can tell, my nose sounds a lot better than last week. Unfortunately, in this episode, it does not sound better because it was still recorded last week. So I still sound like trash. I still use the word like a lot, which people are getting upset about, but I'm sorry. I'm trying to work on it. And so I still sound like junk, but next week I'll be back 100%. No disgusting noises coming out of my mouth or nose, and no stuffiness. But that means no Rudolph jokes, which I've heard you all like so much. But this... I still haven't talked about the sponsors. This episode is brought to you by, and man, there's a lot of you guys. So thank you guys so much for doing this holiday. It's amazing. Freddie Torres, Corbin Dandy, Rob Ratke, Kelly Childress, Jessica Baker, Andrew Ware. Thank you all so much for your donations. Holy cow. Thank you all so much. I can't tell you what it means to us to get all those donations. It was just, thank you. Thank you. And we had a ton of orders this week. We don't have a lot of shirts left at all. That's store.ihatehorror.com if you want anything. I think there's like one hat left, and that's probably about it. There's shirts too, but not a lot of those either. So check it out and see if there's anything left in your size. I'm probably going to be announcing a new shirt design very soon. One of our amazing fans, I think her name's Becca. Now I'm a jerk. I got to look these things up before I say them, but I think her name is Becca. She designs this an amazing, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Not your traditional horror show shirt though, so it's going to be cool. And, and before I say one more thing, April, it looks like we'll be back in Chicago. It's pretty exciting news. I can't reveal it yet, but it's looking like it's going to be April. So get ready, Chicago. We'll be there. And I'm still working on Dallas and California. So, and I just want to give a shout out to Daniel Lopez and his wife. His wife is sick. I didn't get into the details with him, but it's something with a kidney. She's on a donor list. Man, you guys are amazing. I can't imagine the strength it takes. Daniel sent us this really nice email about how he listens to us to get through from his drive home from the hospital to his house. He's all bummed out and he listens to us, and somehow our stupid voices make him feel better. And that was amazing. So, it was touching. It was really touching. So my thoughts are out to you guys. I'm sure all of our listeners feel the same way. I hope your wife gets better. And when she does, wherever you are, I'll get a show out there and we'll link up and we'll all go out and have a good time. So Daniel Lopez and your wife, thank you so much for listening. And I hope you enjoy this episode about a Paris Hilton movie called House of Wax.
Just sitting around watching horror movies all fucking day.
Okay, I stopped paying attention in class. I was thinking about the adventures of Ash, about the misfortune of sitting kids at Crystal Lake. Became addicted straight away with the initial tape. God bless Betamax. VHS, holy like Amanda Kruger. I was introduced to genre flicks by Toby Hooper. I started craving more just like Larry the Looter. I collected VHS without commentary or bloopers. Stole computers, magazines, a bunch of stores. Spent my money on movies and begged my mom for more. I'd watch the boys kill those astro bastards 5 times a day or even more. I loved the gore. Lionel and Paquita combined their lonely hearts. I was hellbound.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Horror Show. Show that dissects, mutilates, dismembers, and butchers all of your favorite and not so favorite horror movies and other horror-related events. I'm Sean.
I'm Joe.
I'm running out of ways to start the show. I'm always like singing Guess Who's Back, and that's it. It's really all I sing every time. We're back.
Yeah.
Another great episode this week. I'm really selling this one. House of Wax 2005 remake, suggested to us by Matt Ryan, the drummer for Cannibal Corpse. No, the drummer for Hot Gospel.
Yes.
Cool band. Check them out. Did you hear their cover of the Monster Mash?
I did.
It was pretty good.
I like
pretty fucking good. I mean, not great, Matt, but it was pretty fucking good.
Pretty okay.
Pretty all right, dude. No, it was a really cool cover. Matt is an awesome fan. Love talking to Matt. And he's very handsome, as we said last week. Very fucking handsome. 2005, he was probably born that year.
I was talking to him today
really?
about this movie. He sent me a link, which I'll bring up later. But he was like, yeah, my first horror movie I ever saw was 13 Ghosts when it came out. I'm like, get the fuck out.
That was like 2 years prior to this. Yeah. It was insane. Yeah. That's kind of what I figured. I mean, I think that's why these movies have such a, because, okay, so this is made by Dark Castle.
Mm-hmm.
Dark Castle, we've talked about him before, Joel Silver, Robert Zemeckis, and Susan Downey, Robert Downey's wife. And they've made Ghost Ship and Gothica, which we've done on the show. They've also done House on Haunted Hill, 13 Ghosts, and then Ghost Ship, Gothica, and then House of Wax. In that order, 99, 2001, 2002, 2003, 2005. So I think there is a group of people not born in that area, but they all hit that age to start watching horror movies in that area. Because everyone that has recommended these has loved these movies. Like, not like Casey recommended Gothica, and she's like, I love Gothica. And the person that loved Ghost Ship loved Ghost Ship. And then apparently everyone on planet Earth loved Ghost Ship except us. I don't know how it's possible, but it is.
Well, Matt did not love this movie.
Oh, he didn't?
He gave it a 0.5-star rating on Letterboxd. I'm going to assume no.
Which is funny because we both liked it.
I did like it.
I liked it a lot.
I thought it was fun.
Yeah. But did he like 13 Ghosts, do you know?
No.
He just... He knew he made a mistake.
Yeah, well, so he sent me a link because we were talking about like the stretch of like 1998 to 2005 being dog shit. Because I had said, which I had said to you too, that for a horror movie in 2005, this is not terrible.
No,
not by any means. There's way worse shit out there.
Yeah,
and we'll go more into that. But I was talking to him about that, and he was like, I found this article that's called like 98 till 2005, the new metal of horror.
No,
I was like, yeah, that's exactly what it is.
That's been our concept forever. Like, we've talked about doing serial killer on that period of time, like being like that period was so fucking bad, it's almost unwatchable.
Yes,
that's crazy.
Also, I was talking to him about this, not knowing that this was his pick, and I was like, man, this guy's really invested in House of Wax.
That's so funny. Yeah, he's like, really? Wow. Yeah. So. That makes sense. Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did not mind this movie, though. I liked it. I actually liked it.
I did, too. So I remember when it came out, we were in college, and I remember it was very much maligned. And honestly, it was only because Paris Hilton was in it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, as soon as it came out, people were like, Paris Hilton? This movie sucks.
She got such backlash. And I mean...
She's a terrible actress.
Terrible.
One of the worst.
What was that? Do you remember that movie? We all went on vacation?
I do, because that's in my notes. And I ask if you remember it. It was called The Hills with a Z.
The Hills. One of our friends demanded we watch it.
Yes.
He shall remain nameless. Buzz. And I don't know if he liked it or not.
Of course he did.
I don't know. I think he might have.
There's a character called Monsterhead, and he thought it was hilarious.
And Deadly Sperm Buildup, DSB, is introduced in that, which never caught on anywhere except our group of friends that used it. I mean, it didn't even catch on there. We used it like that week.
The rest of that trip.
That movie was so fucking bad. I remember it was like pulling teeth. I remember that much because I was like, why? What is this?
Yeah, and he also made us watch Harsh Times, of which he repeated the title of that movie for the rest of the vacation. Whenever we did something.
I remember Harsh Times, starring
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale, yeah.
What a nightmare that trip was.
That was so bad. Besides when we caught that college radio station playing like awesome punk music.
Well, it was just you and me.
Yeah.
Because our friends were out like dining at nice restaurants, but we were just getting high and eating microwaved hot dogs.
Watching Hell's Kitchen and being like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I remember that melted my brain. It was the season where that big Asian guy like passes out and hits his head on the counter.
I remember like yesterday.
Yeah. And I remember I was in outer space and I was like, what? I was like, what happened to that guy? Oh man, it was amazing. And then it stopped.
Could have just done it at home.
Yeah, 100%. Even way better. We should have just done it by ourselves too. Directed by Jean-May Collet Serra.
Yeah, one of my favorites.
Who did The Shallows?
The shark movie?
Yep. Ugh. And Orphan. I think Hollywood is a weird fucking place because like there's a guy like this who exists and he just makes 10 movies in his career, but like they keep giving him chances. Like The Shallows wasn't, I'm not saying it's like a massive.
I think it did well.
I think it did okay. But even to be like, you know who should direct this? That fucking guy that did House of Wax, that House of Wax flick everyone hates. Yeah, why don't we pick that guy to do this movie that we're investing a lot of money in? Isn't that weird, like how Hollywood works like that? And he'll probably have a job forever, and he's probably set for life.
I'm sure
that's so fucking weird to me. That's so fucking weird.
This is another week where my wife took the notes, transcribed them. And the first note here is talk about the time we went to Madame Tussauds.
Did you guys go to Madame Tussauds?
We did. We went in LA.
Was it good?
It was great.
It's weird. Wax
museums are weird, man.
They are fucking weird.
Because you stare at them and you're like, what the fuck?
They almost feel like they're alive.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe they are.
They're not.
Okay.
I know this because I had a megaphone and I yelled in Steven Spielberg's face about Jaws for like an hour.
Do you remember the original House of Wax?
I do.
Do you like it?
I've seen it years ago. I remember liking it.
I remember hating it as a kid. My dad showing it to me when I was young. And I remember not liking it at all. But this one is this one's crazy. Starring Alicia Cuthbert.
Yep.
Chad Michael Murray.
Yep. Classic One Tree Hill.
Yeah, fame. Chad Michael.
Tina loved this movie right off the bat because he was in Gilmore Girls for like a season. And so was the other guy.
Oh, really?
And she's like, this movie's great.
Yeah, they look like your regular like CW
yes.
cast.
Yes.
And Paris Hilton, of course, is
Paris Hilton. And then
enigmatic Paris Hilton.
And then the kid from my cousin Skeeter.
I don't know that kid.
Do you remember My Cousin Skeeter?
No.
You don't remember that show from the 90s?
Wait, on Nickelodeon?
Yeah, the big stupid puppet. I'll show you.
I don't remember that.
He was the kid.
A big giant puppet.
You'll know when I show you.
I thought you were talking about the one with goo.
No, that's my brother and me. Goo Punch?
Dude, I love Punch. Dude, that movie, that show fucking ruled. My brother and me. Or is it My Brother and Me, or is it My Brother and Me?
No, it's My Brother and Me.
Oh, there's a podcast called My Brother and Me.
Dude, my cousin Skeeter.
I don't remember that at all. Oh, I do. Oh my God, that's so crazy. Yeah. It's a kid from My Cousin Skeeter. You're right.
That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's nuts. That's insane. Because in My Cousin Skeeter, he's like a little kid. Well, younger.
Right, but he looks exactly
the same. Like identical. Yeah. I mean, it's those piercing eyes that he's got.
And then Skeeter was just a puppet for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know why that was.
Stupid as hell.
So dumb. They have a show like that similar now, too. Same concept.
Dog with a Blog?
No, not Dog with a Blog. That we probably reference way more than we have anything else. So let's get into this, man. We got some waxing houses to talk about.
Yes.
Well, we open with this scene from like
1974.
Oh yeah, I have that written down. I was just gonna wing it. It's so weird because I was like, why did it say 1974 there? Lady, she's spilling wax all over the stove, making some shitty wax masks. Meanwhile, her kid's eating cereal. Yep. Then they drag this kid upstairs. He's kicking and screaming, and dad's like, "This little monster!" And they're like, just ruthless. They're strapping this kid.
Why can't you be more like your brother?
Yeah, and then they just, bam, slap him across the face, and an abrupt ending, and it just says,
"They're strapping him in like he's getting shock treatment."
Yeah,
he has. They're putting him in a normal high chair, but he has like heavy restraints.
Very heavy restraints, big leather straps. And they slap him across the face. And then it just says House of Wax on the screen. We cut to present day.
Deftones playing.
So much music in this fucking movie. They play music.
So much new metal.
So much new metal. Yeah. And then My Chemical Romance was on it, which was really weird because I didn't think that I don't know, man. It's crazy that this was 2005 too. I don't know. Like, that's a weird time for me. I don't know. Like it's out. It's I'm out of high school at that point. I thought this was like a high school movie for me, but it's definitely not.
No, I mean I definitely remember it coming out, like the hype about it.
Yeah,
or the anti-hype. I should.
Yeah, Paris Hilton and this girl are looking at apartments, and this girl's poor. She can't afford apartments. I think the apartment was like $3,000, by the way. No, I can't afford that now. And Paris Hilton's like, just rent it. We learn that this girl, Carly, our main character, she's going to be an intern for In Style magazine in New York City. This does not come into play, so I don't know why I'm highlighting it. Except later they fight for a minute about it. Her boyfriend is One Tree Hill, I guess. Or no, Gilmore Girls, of Gilmore Girls fame.
But not Chad Michael Murray.
Not Chad Michael Michaels. Chad Michael Murray.
Wait, now you're throwing me off.
Chad Michael Murray is the bad boy in this.
Yes, the twin brother.
And the brother of Carly, we'll learn. He loves kicking money out of homeless people's hands and yelling, get a job at them. While his friend records it. There's so many characters at this beginning. I had like such a hard time keeping track of them at first. Like I was like, Chad Michael Michael's character really, I mean.
That's not his name, is it? Michael?
Chad Michael Murray.
Okay.
Sorry. Chad Michael Murray's character, he just like blends in. Even though he looks nothing like the other guy, I just like, I could barely tell them apart.
I honestly,
they're just like generic. Like
except one had that shitty trucker hat that Ashton Kutcher made popular.
Yes,
punked.
Fucking Von Dutch.
Is that what it was called?
Yeah, it's a brand.
Stupid asshole hat.
That was the worst. But there's so many characters and there's so many fucking songs playing, and I was just getting a headache.
You like new metal?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, like in the sense that I'm not going to sit here and be like, that's a fucking art form. It's not a fucking art form. It's like watching like what was the last movie we just did?
Final Exam.
Final Exam. It's like Final Exam. It's a fucking nightmare, but sometimes it's fun to throw on and just be like, oh, what the fuck?
It's a good way to put it.
Like, I don't mind it.
10,000 songs, 0 guitar solos.
I mean, there's some bands that I don't want to hear ever, like Disturbed, which we will hear in this movie.
Yes, that's what I was saying.
That's a band that I'm cool with never hearing from again.
Right.
But there are some new metal bands that I do enjoy listening.
Do you consider Korn new metal?
Yeah, kind of.
Because Korn's awesome.
Yeah, Korn's awesome.
Slipknot?
Kind of.
Because
it's weird because like you have to have that like little bit of rap element, I guess. Like, isn't that like kind of turntables, which they definitely fall into? Yeah. Korn, like again, Korn kind of falls out of it a little bit. There were just Korn and Marilyn Manson, I feel like, are just on the fringes of it.
I feel like Korn invented it.
I feel like Korn might have invented it. You're right, but then
definitely.
But then everyone else was just like, let's make it worse.
Let's make it less talented.
Yeah. Let's take what they're doing and make it suck. I just remember like, and my timetables might be wrong here. I just remember like, Korn was the first one, or was Life Peachy first?
No, Korn's first.
Korn first. Life is Peachy was still pretty early though.
Yeah, it was 96.
Okay.
The first one was 94.
So like, yeah. So like those and Marilyn Manson came out similar periods. Mm-hmm. 96. And like, I just feel like they were just on the fringe. Like they were just a little bit different. They weren't so heavily influenced with the rap and the turntables and stuff. They were just doing their shit. Do you know what I mean? Like they were making their music.
No, I agree.
Whereas everyone else was like, let's make this style.
Listen, nobody sounded like Korn before Korn.
No. At all. No, nothing even close. So, yeah, I don't know. So those two I give like a pretty big pass. Not that Marilyn Manson even falls into that category, but I don't like him. But I just remember I have such... Matt Ryan, the guy that picked this, I had a big conversation with him about Marilyn Manson because he was like, I forget what he said, but he was kind of like making fun of Marilyn Manson. Like if he was around today, if he came out today on social media, what it would be like. And I was like, dude, I just remember in elementary school when Marilyn Manson started happening, it felt so dirty to listen to his albums to me.
Oh, your parents hated, or not your parents, but parents in general hated Marilyn Manson.
It really felt like some occult shit. Like it really felt like you were not supposed to listen to that.
Which is bizarre because he's like, there's so many worse people out there.
So much worse. But I just remember that. I remember it so vividly.
Remember when he removed his ribs?
So yeah, somebody gave me his CD and I remember hiding it. And my parents bought me. They didn't care about what I listened to at all. And I was hiding it because I was like, this is fucked up. Like, this is fucking weird shit. And then meanwhile, he's singing covers of Sweet Dreams. Yeah. And you're like, looking back, you're like, what the What the fuck?
Yeah, he's a weirdo.
I don't know. It's I could talk about new metal for a while because it's just fucking fascinating. It's just a weird time.
Yeah.
I went to Family Values tour where it was like
when Ice Cube was there.
Yeah.
You saw Ice Cube?
Yeah.
Fuck. I didn't go that year.
But I was too ignorant to even give a shit. 'Cause I was like, I want to see Limp Bizkit.
So this movie, back to this fucking thing. So we got our group. They're going to a football game. Yes.
And to do some, that's it. They're going to a football.
Just going to a football game, yeah.
Yep. Party, tailgate. Like 5 minutes into their drive to this party, to this tailgate, though, they're like, I'm tired. I think we should stop. They literally drove nowhere.
Like 5 minutes.
And even one of the guys is like, are you kidding me? Like, let's just get to the game. And they don't. They go camping in the fucking woods. And as soon as they get there, it's fucking pitch black. It's like midnight. And they're like, let's toss the football. They're tossing the football around in the pitch black. It's so stupid.
And then a truck pulls up.
Truck pulls up.
And they're like, what do you want? And then Chad Michael Murray throws a fucking bottle and smashes the headlight.
Smash it.
So aggressive.
So aggressive. So aggressive. And Chad Michael Murray has this like crony that stays by his side the whole movie. And he's like, that's what you get, motherfucker. Like that truck literally did nothing.
Pulled up. I would run them all over.
I would absolutely run them down. Run them down. What the fuck? What? It was so weird. And yeah, we get some insight into Chad Michael. He used to be a jock. I'm always at Chad Michael Murray. He hates Carly, his sister, for diming him out because he stole a car. Again, none of this matters. Another movie that's just given us a ton of exposition.
Well, I guess like the redemption side, because he ends up at the end, they end up saving each other.
I guess, but still, it's kind of like you don't need it.
By saving each other, I mean walking slowly through melting wax.
I actually love that scene. Okay, so we get some campfire hijinks as usual, some super homophobic jokes as usual for the 90s, making fun of Elton John. Like, it was so out of place and so unfunny. I was like,
this isn't the 90s.
I don't even think it was funny in the 90s.
No, I'm saying, because you said like the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
But this is like 10 years late to the party.
Oh, my God. Yeah, that's right. Oh, shit. You're right. It's 2005. Like, why are they doing that?
Yeah.
Totally knew better by then. The gang gets down to some hanky-panky. We already talked about the truck. And that's it, man. The gang all goes to sleep, but we see Chad Michael Murray's buddy was carrying around a video camera the whole time, filming everything.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like a found footage point of view type of thing.
I would have liked a little extra from that, but that does not happen.
Didn't really matter.
It doesn't matter. And so he's got this camera, his buddy, but everyone's sleeping, and we see it from the camera point of view, and somebody's watching them all sleep. And it's definitely not the guy. Carly wakes up. She thinks she hears something. She goes outside, but nothing to be seen. We wake up the next day, and one of the guys comes out and is like, it's 2:30. Everyone wake up. Could you imagine sleeping to 2:30 in the afternoon?
That's exactly what Tina is. Who sleeps till 2:30?
It's impossible, especially in a tent when the sunlight's out.
I agree.
I was so fucking aggravated by that.
For everyone to sleep till 2:30.
Everybody. Yes. And like this guy wakes up and is like, what the fuck? What are we doing? The guy realizes he lost his camera somehow, but he doesn't know how. They're trying to hustle, get out of there. They discover the car belt is broken in one of the cars. It might have been sabotaged, which the guy this boy puts together like instantly. Like he looks at it, he's like, that's brand new. That was sabotaged. Carly and Paris Hilton, though, they're wandering around the woods and they smell rotting death. So like, we should investigate that. Strange woods. Why not? And Carly falls into a literal pool of dead rotting shit.
Just fucking cesspool of shit.
Dude, you'd be so sick.
It was gross.
She's laying like her nose is touching it. And her hands are in it, and she's you would be vomiting everywhere. Dude, it's just I'm about to be sick thinking about it. It's just rotting corpses of animals. They see a human hand inside of there. And then this hillbilly pulls up. This hillbilly pulls up in his truck. He starts unloading carcasses. Just dumping carcasses.
Violently, too.
Yeah, he's so angry. And this guy's been in everything. He always plays like the weird little hillbilly guy. And they're like, hey, man, what the fuck you doing? Like as if it's their property or they give a shit. Right. I'd run so fast. And this guy's like, huh? And they're like, what's that? And they point to the human hand. And he just like starts walking through the shit and just pulls off the hand. He's like, huh, it's fake. It's like I brought it here last week.
Why is he dumping those there? Is there a point for that?
No, because he's not like, they didn't, like one of the deers he threw. Well, I think he's technically supposed to be cleaning up roadkill.
Oh, okay.
Because he mentions it later, but like why? I don't know.
Okay, that actually makes more sense because I thought he was like hunting them and then just dumping them.
Well, that's what I was about to explain, and then I realized what he was doing because I remember there's a point in it where he's like, sometimes if it's fresh, I bring it home and eat it.
Okay, that makes actually more sense.
And which is so funny because
what do they do with roadkill? Now you say that,
probably just chuck it
throw
in
a cesspit.
They probably take it to the dump, honestly. But this guy, it's interesting though how they demonize. I think Joe Bob is actually doing a talk on this, how they kind of demonize the South a little bit in horror movies, how the Southerner in horror movies has become just, it's easy to make him a bad guy, like a weirdo. Because like really, like this guy eating roadkill, like they're poor, there's no one around. Like you can get the vibe, like they're out in the middle of nowhere. This guy's like, I eat roadkill.
Yeah,
like
that's
if it's
not
fresh,
uncommon.
and it's not uncommon.
Like if you go to some places, you might see painted roadkill because they paint them, and then the next day they know it's fresh.
Yeah,
it doesn't have the paint on.
Yeah, exactly. So it's interesting. And in this movie, it's like, ugh, this fucking creep eats it. Like, you know what I mean? It's an interesting thing, and it's I don't know. For some reason, this movie of all movies made me think of that. And I was like, oh, that poor guy. Like, he just needs a fucking meal. But it's interesting how they use it as a plot point to be like, look at this fucking freak.
Yeah, they do.
Like, it's fucking interesting. And we still have not gotten into this movie. So they meet this guy. They're like, the car's busted. Can you take us somewhere? He's like, I know a gas station 15 miles away. I can take you there. They've got belts. We'll take care of you. Yeah. So the Carly and her boo, which I don't know his name. I can't. Wade. Carly and Wade, they end up going with the hillbilly. The rest of the gang decides they're going to go to the football game.
It's such poor friends. Terrible
decision making. They all go to the football game, which they get stuck in traffic, and they're like, let's just turn around. And the guy's like, I'm not missing this game. And I guess ultimately they just turn around.
Yes.
That part of the story is so weird and convoluted because like, how would they ever find them later? Like they just pull up and they're like, oh, we're here. Like it's so weird. It's the weirdest thing. But Carly and Wade, they go with this guy. They're getting a weird vibe from him, which of course you are because he's like, do you like knives? And then he just stabs the knife into the dashboard as hard as possible. So it's not uncommon for them to be weirded out.
Right.
He pulls up to a clearing and he's like, help me change my 4x4s.
And he has a knife in his hand.
Yeah.
While he gets out.
Yeah.
And he like goes around the other side, but then the knife's not there because he like jerks open the door.
Yeah. And yeah.
But then what does the girl say to him? Well, she reveals that she was like bugged out.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
She thought he might do something.
Right.
He's like, you just hurt my feelings.
That's the weird part. So they're like, we're gonna get out right now and just walk across because it was like a river or something. But he's like, we could put the 4x4s on. I'll drive you on. The town's right over there. And they're like, no, we'll just get out right now. Like they're in a rush, like a panicked rush. And he's like, well, come on. Like I'm just trying to show you hospitality. Like you'd ever be mad at that. Like I'd be like, oh, thank God these people are out of my car. But they get out, they walk, they literally like go across the clearing and then the town's right there. And they're like, boy, don't we feel like a bunch of jerks. And the town though is really fucking weird. Totally empty.
Yeah. They go to the gas station.
Well, yeah, they go to the gas station. Wade's like, hey, look, a house of wax. Like, I would be so fucking terrified that I was in this town, right? Like, it was just so terrifying. They go to the gas station. No one's there. Totally empty. They go to the church, open the door.
A funeral's going on.
Fucking funeral's in process. So they close the door. One of the guys comes out and is like, It's like, what do you guys need? He's like, oh, we need a fan belt. You interrupted a funeral for a fan belt, which is, yeah, that's a good question. And then we get this weird scene that starts to show us our wax maker, our wax man. He's carving some tiggle big big tax witties. No, tax witties. Some tiggle big wax tax witties. He's making breasts. He's making wax breasts.
Yeah, but Tina also refused to write tits here.
Our heroes enter the wax house just as we see this guy, and that they notice that entire building is made of wax. Everything inside is made of wax, which is pretty fucking crazy and dangerous.
Very dangerous.
They're also really concerned that no one in the house is famous. Like, they're like, hey man, there's no one famous here.
That would honestly
bug you out.
That's a good point. Like, I like that they put that up, because if you walk into a wax museum and you don't recognize anyone, that's the most bizarre fucking thing ever.
Just strangers. Yeah, I guess that's weird. She starts looking at pieces and notices they all have the name Vincent. Think that's a little homage?
I know that's a little homage.
A little on the nose there, huh? Yeah. I'm surprised the brother's name wasn't Price. They discover the baby seats. They have Vincent on them. So we know whose house it is. It's the children's house from the opening scene. They see someone move in the window. They try and go look around, but nothing there. Just some cheap little scares here and there. But finally, Carly and this dumb Wade.
There's a dog in there.
There's a dog in there.
Scares
that's really still and then jumps. But Carly and this dumb finally decide, you know what? Like, why don't we just go take the belt and pay him? Like, they could have done this hours ago instead of just wandering around this town.
Yes.
And just as they do this, the owner shows up, the same guy from the funeral home. And he's like, well, that's the wrong belt size. I got him at my house. You got to come with me. Brings him up. He's laying it on thick to Carly. I thought there was going to be a little romance there, but that is not the case. On the way up to the house, he tells this really fucking morbid story about the family and these two kids, and you know, that the mom was strapped down and wailing, and the doctor committed suicide, and all this crazy shit, all this fucking whacked out stuff. And the kids are just like, all right. So they get to the house and they're like, hey, you got to use the bathroom. Come on inside, Wade, use the bathroom. Carly decides to wait in the car.
Yep.
The guy goes in.
The house has animal fetuses
in jars. Then he's like shaking and like,
there's like a cow one.
Yeah. It's like those South Park guys that just mumble like, fetus. Like, that's what it was like. Like, he's just like, oh man, that's so. He's like shaking them like snow globes. And fucking pig bodies in there. Like, it's fucking disgusting. And we see some wax masks in there. We see some doctor stuff.
Surgeries.
You would think that this guy's going to put two and two together and be like, hey, remember that story this guy literally just told me?
Just told me.
I want to get the fuck out of here. But instead he's just like, wow, this place is really fucking neat. And then the lights go out and we see a fucking pair of scissors.
Just straight up scissors.
Just scissors. And they're like, he's like snipping his way to the
guy. But then I have to give this movie credit because they don't skimp on the gore.
Dude.
Because it snips his Achilles and like you could feel it.
It was great. Bad. It was fucking bad. And I didn't realize. So, you know, it's a Paris Hilton movie. It's a Dark Castle movie. We've seen Gothica. Not that Gothica was even that bad, but it was. Yeah, well, I mean, it wasn't. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Nothing was. I mean, Gothica had some very adult themes in it. Like, it wasn't gory, but like there was like some rape and weird shit in it.
Right.
Stuff you don't really. It's hard to watch. But this movie, I was expecting this to be soft as jello, soft as jelly. Soft as fluffernutter, but it's not, because like I'm watching the scissors come and it almost looks like they're at neck level, and you're like, what's this guy gonna do? Like, just like stab him in the neck or something? And then close in, fucking snips his fucking Achilles heel, and it's fucking awful. It's fucking awful. Wade goes down, and then he starts stabbing him, and then a big knockout punch. and Wade's out, or at least from what we understand. Carly's in the car. She's been waiting there forever. So she finally gets out and notices headlights missing in this car.
Yeah.
This is the car from the campsite. And she does a partially smart thing. She locks herself inside the car. Great move. Because the guy comes out and is like, hey there, ready to go? And she's like, no, not until fucking Wade gets outside. And he's like, let me in the fucking car. And then I'm like, oh, she must not have the keys, so she can't start the car because she's not doing anything. She's just sitting there being like, I'm waiting till Wade gets here. And like,
I'd like to see you get in here.
Yeah, I'd like to see you try and break that window. And he does. And then she hits the gas and like turns on the car. And I'm like, you should have done that fucking... I'm so angry. That honestly infuriated me. I'd rather have the car not work and her just put it in like neutral or whatever and roll back. No, I was so fucking furious. Like I was, because she literally is like, nope, I'm not going anywhere till Wade's here. You're thinking worst case scenario. Wade's fucking dead, lady.
Yeah.
He went in to take a piss. It's been a half hour and this guy comes out and is like, Dad, don't worry about Wade.
And then once you start trying to break, like, book it.
Yeah.
Fuck Wade.
It's fucking crazy. Yeah, so that's that, man. And the other, I think I don't even know who steps in front of the car. Is it the same guy? He gets in front of it. Yeah. Oh, it is. He gets in front of the car, so she crashes it and she gets out and she fucking runs away. And we get a coffin baby sighting. A buckethead? Yeah. Buckethead coffin baby is what I'll call him. Yeah. He's got a big white mask on. But he's got the coffin baby features. He's got this weird long hair. He's dragging Wade to the basement, cleaning him up, fixing him up, stitching his Achilles. Oh, it's fucking gross. And then proceeds to start...
Puts him in this contraption and spray him with hot wax.
He also waxes off all of his hair. And all I could think about was how funny would it be if House of Wax was just about like guys that ripped off hair. They don't kill you. They just rip off your hair constantly. They're farming you for human hair.
Slowly. Yeah. Like one patch at a time.
Like that Spoons short. The guy kills you by hitting you with the spoon. That guy Rob Bob that follows us on Twitter.
Yeah.
Did he send you the message about that movie?
About spoons?
They're making it a full movie out of it, and Jeffrey Combs is going to be in it.
Stop.
If you guys haven't seen this short, I don't even know what you search for. I think just spoons.
Killed with spoons?
Killed with spoons. Yeah. And it's like this insane video of a guy being killed slowly over the course of like his lifetime.
Do you remember My Spoon Is Too Big?
Yeah, of course I do.
Was salad fingers?
Salad fingers is disgusting. My spoon is too big. Oh, God, it's so disgusting.
The early 2000s was
so weird.
Quite the time.
So weird. Yeah, so he puts Wade in that crazy-ass contraption, sprays him with fucking wax.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Carly runs into town where all the lights are coming on. She runs into the church, and they're all wax. It's all a big ruse. She breaks one, though, and you see some blood inside. So we're getting the painted picture now. These are people inside of wax. I don't know what they're doing.
I mean, you can pick apart this movie because that's so illogical.
Oh, it makes no sense.
But I didn't mind.
I don't mind.
I didn't mind
I'll take
whatsoever.
I'll take it. I'll fucking take it. I'll take it that the wax is so hot that it's like melting the skin off and replacing it with wax. That is so brittle that it shatters.
I know Matthew, the kid that chose this, his Letterboxd review, half star, was furious that the town didn't just stink because the organs were still inside all the wax figures.
That's actually a solid point.
No, that's a great point.
Because their eyes would rot out.
Oh, there's nothing like realistic about this. But again, I don't care.
I'm okay with it.
It was a fun ride.
I'm okay with it. Yeah, I'm totally okay with it. So Carly's inside the church, and then the gas station owner, I don't even know what to call him. Does he have a name even?
Bo.
Oh, right. Bo.
Yeah.
Bo and Vincent. Bo comes running in. And he gets tipped off that she's still in there because he sees the arm that got broken off. And then he's like walking around. He can't find her anywhere. And then just grabs her because she's hiding in a fucking coat rack. That's like the number one place not to fucking hide. How many cartoons do you have to watch of like Bugs Bunny hiding with his feet underneath the fucking coat? to not hide under the
like
coat
scary
rack.
movie.
It's like the worst place to hide ever. And she literally hides in a coat rack. He brings her back to the gas station, ties her up, blasts some Marilyn Manson. I think that was Marilyn Manson.
And he super glues her mouth shut.
That was fucking mind-numbing. I was
not as mind-numbing as when she rips
it open.
Yeah.
That was fucking...
That made me feel stomach sick.
Yeah, it was fucking gross. Wait, oh my God. This whole segment right here, I wish the whole movie was like this. I mean, the movie wasn't bad, but this bit right here blows your fucking mind. So he brings her down to the basement and he's like, shut your fucking mouth. And he super glues her lips shut. Mm-hmm. And you're like, wow, that's fucked up. So she can't sing. She's strapped into this chair. Then she hears Big Bro outside.
Yes.
So he's like, motherfucker. So he goes outside.
He's looking. The Chad Michael Murray
has come back.
He doesn't know where his sister went.
Yes.
They've come back from the football game.
Yep.
They're the traffic. He's looking. So like you said, Bo goes upstairs.
Yep.
And Carly manages to get a hand loose. How does she do that? She just like wiggles
She's
it?
just like, literally, she doesn't do a whole lot. She just shakes and then like the whole chair falls apart. And she's free enough to like stick a hand out of this because they're in the basement.
This is my favorite scene.
This is the most insane thing I've ever seen in my life. I can't believe they did it.
It was so unexpected.
So unexpected.
So she's like conveniently directly under a like sewer
they're
grate
in the basement
or something.
of the gas station.
Yes.
And Bo
is up outside.
Yes, outside the gas station.
But there's a grate.
At the pump. And there's a grate.
Like a sewer.
That she could reach it out to like, say like, I'm here.
And her mouth is still super glued shut, so she can't yell. She's trying to make like murmuring noises. Yeah. So she sticks her finger up through the grate in hopes that her brother sees it.
Yeah.
So Bo sees that the finger's up and he keeps like standing in front of it and he kneels down and pretends to tie his shoe. So Chad Michael Murray like just thinks he's tying his shoe, can't see the finger. And he takes out a fucking like wire cutter and just snips the finger off.
Just snips the top of her fucking finger off.
That was insane.
It was out of control. I could not believe that they fucking did that.
I couldn't either.
I was like, get the fuck out of here. Especially for, again, 2005
I liked that
theatrical release.
I liked that so much that I forgave the fact that that girl was missing a finger and barely winced, and it didn't inhabit her at all.
She might have had her finger back in the later scene.
She might.
I was just thinking about that right now. I was like, I don't think there's a scene where I remember being like, oh yeah, her finger's missing.
It never came into play. It was like, my finger.
Yeah, like it would really hurt to dig through wax later.
Really hurt.
No index.
She would also be bleeding uncontrollably. I forgive
totally fine.
I forgive all of it for just doing that.
I couldn't believe it. And her mouth is glued shut, so she can't even scream. So she's like, "Argh!"
Right. And then she just uses her other fingers to rip her
mouth open and scream. She screams for Chad Michael Murray's character, whatever his name is.
But
Nick.
like, it's not a quick rip open of the mouth. It's slow and peeling.
Oh, it's gross.
It looks like it hurts.
It's fucking gross.
Fantastic scene.
It was amazing. All right, everybody. We have to take a break from
House of Wax.
House of Wax. We have to take a break from this flick to talk about food.
Yeah.
Not a prominent feature in this movie.
No.
Thankfully. Because we know how well that went in Don't Breathe. Although that wasn't food. That was semen in a turkey base. But HelloFresh is a food delivery service. You choose the delivery day for when it works best for your busy schedule. They'll deliver it to your house. They offer a wide variety of chef-curated recipes that change weekly. And this holiday season, they even have some very special ones.
Like what?
Like meatloaf a la mom with roasted root vegetables and thyme gravy. That sounds good, right?
It does.
What about thyme gravy chicken with roasted carrots, cashew, and pepe potatoes?
A classic Christmas.
And figgy pork tenderloin with green beans and rosemary potatoes.
Figgy pork? Dude, that's in a Christmas song.
That's what I said in that's what I said in the last ad, and I was like, "What the fuck is figgy?" But
wait, you said it in the last one?
Yeah,
well, I was here.
No, you weren't. I recorded it myself.
Oh, you son of a reaping the benefits. HelloFresh.
But yeah, right. Like I want anything with figgy in it, just based on that song.
Yeah,
give us some figgy. But what's figgy pudding? That sounds sketchy.
I don't know. It's pudding.
Figgy pork sounds really fucking good.
Figgy pork does sound good.
They have figgy pork, and we really love them. And we love HelloFresh, right?
We do.
So
we do.
I think HelloFresh is perfect for the holiday season, especially like what your family's going through right now.
Yeah.
I said that like
Jesus.
it's a nightmare. Joe just had a baby. So like Christmas shopping, Christmas decorating, doing all that holiday stuff, and a baby on top of it.
Have the food delivered to you, dude, with the recipes.
Dude, that it makes holiday shopping so much more enjoyable when you can just go out and shop and not have to worry about also picking up the ingredients.
And I've had 2 friends in real life use our code in the HelloFresh, and they're both very happy.
Oh my God. So. We've had like 3 fans email me and be like, this is amazing. I honestly love it. I really do. I honestly love it. It's so fucking good. I need to stop swearing during these adverts though. So if you want to try out HelloFresh, you get $30 off your first week when you go to HelloFresh.com and enter Horror Show 30.
Do it.
Go to HelloFresh.com. Horror Show 30 is the code. You'll get $30 off. It's amazing. You pick the time. It's convenient. It works for you. And yeah, that's it. HelloFresh.com, Horror Show 30. All this is happening right as Bo is about to stab Chad Michael Murray right in the fucking throat. So Chad's able to dodge it. They get into a little scuffle, and Chad gets the upper hand and gets into the gas station.
Yeah.
Locks himself
Locks
in.
the doors.
Locks Bo out. So...
I just thought of the killer in Final Exam getting locked in the freezer and just immediately walking
out the side door.
It's not even like suspense, like how he's locked in there for like a minute.
No, it's literally like seconds. Like she's like, oh, and he just walks out.
It's so stupid.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. It's fucking wild. So he
but unlike Final Exam, Chad realizes there's other entry points, so he's like running to them
and closing them and locking them. That's so funny. Chad's a doofus buddy. He's still around too, and he goes into the wax museum, of course. And this scene is also insane because he's walking in the wax museum and he sees Wade, who's propped up at a piano. And he's like, Wade. And Wade's eyes are fucking moving. So these people don't die instantly. They are alive in their fucking wax coffins until they just die of starvation, I guess. And he's like, I'm going to get you out of there. And starts trying to peel the fucking wax off.
It's just peeling the skin off.
It's his skin. And so you're seeing the meat and the it's fucking disgusting.
Yes.
And he's peeling it off and he's like, oh, but he keeps trying to pull more.
It.
He's like, don't worry, buddy. And the worst part of this scene though, is it cuts to Wade's face and he's fucking crying.
Yes.
He's fucking crying, but he can't do anything. So just tears rolling down this shitty wax face. It's insane. But then he gets attacked somehow and they like chop off half of Wade's face. Coffin baby Buckethead comes in and just like because he's got like swords and knives and shit.
He's dead. He does.
He's a swordsman, and the doofus like moves out of the way. This guy just chops Wade's fucking poor cheek off. That's that. And
I'm honestly still laughing at the guy coming out the other door.
It's so insane. It's so insane. He gets attacked. Buckethead gets doofus though, and cuts his fucking head off after doofus falls down the stairs. Yep. So that's a wrap for that fella. Carly and her brother, though, they're still surviving. They're out there. They decide to go to this house because she's like, I saw a living person here when I pulled in. And we did. When they pulled in, there was a woman that looked through a curtain. So they go to the house.
But it's just a wax woman.
Fucking Home Alone style. Yep. Michael Jordan on the train station. It's a robot wax woman that just opens the door and eerily peers out every... like 3 seconds, which they probably would have noticed. That was something else. And Chad Michael Murray is like, what the like? This is when he's like, get the fuck out of it. Like she's like trying to explain it to him, and he's like, no. This is what makes him be like, what? And he loses his mind. Meanwhile, Paris Hilton and her boyfriend are just fucking in the woods.
They are
getting voicemails, ignoring them. And then the boyfriend's like, the fucking music just turned off.
She's like, I have to tell you something.
This is the weirdest thing.
He's like, hold on a second. And but they're like about to have sex.
She's about to tell him that she's pregnant.
Is that what she's going to say?
Earlier in the movie, they randomly drop it. Carly's like,
I was going to ask. This is what I was going to ask.
Really tell him you're pregnant.
That's what she says?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
So they kill a pregnant woman.
They do.
Okay.
Which is really bizarre.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really fucking bizarre. And also bizarre that Paris Hilton, like, they were about to fuck and they were listening to like party music. And she's like, hang on, I gotta tell you something. And then he's like, hang on, I gotta turn on the music.
What a weird time to break that on someone.
This whole scene makes no sense. I don't even know why they included the pregnancy thing. I thought that was weird to begin with. Like, the whole thing's really bizarre.
Remember before when she was giving him roadhead, but she wasn't?
Yeah.
But she might have been.
But I think she was.
She just totally was.
And they filmed it in night vision camera to like mimic her video.
Yeah.
So weird.
And they were like, ooh, hoo, hoo. And she like purely looks up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like one of them knew she was pregnant and was like, you're a slut. Like, the one girl knows she's pregnant. Like, what a whore. All right, whore. But yeah, so he like goes out to get the music, sees the phone has a message, and he listens to it. And it's like the entire
everything that's happened in the movie so far.
Yeah. She just left the phone running when she got locked in the car and Wade attacked her. Yeah. Or not Wade, Bo attacks her. So he hears this all and is like, but then Paris Hilton's like literally he was like, I just got to go turn on the music. And then she's like, okay. And then she just turns off the light and goes to bed. It's so weird. And then she's like, what's that noise? And it's Buckethead. Buckethead's here. And Buckethead has killed her boyfriend.
Yes.
And Paris Hilton runs to a fucking factory. Where are they camping? I don't fucking know. Because she finds like the biggest factory of all time.
Yes. And it has like 1 billion cell phones in it.
I'm imagining it's
they're all
like
victims, right?
Victims?
Yeah. That's a lot of victims.
But why were all the victims camping in the same place? Unless, I guess maybe they were trying to get to that town, I think.
Well, but there's nobody there. Nobody would have any reason to get
to that town. They also didn't know how to get to the town.
They're all trying to get to it.
And later a cop's like, this town's not even on the map. So I don't know how any of this is happening.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, what are we talking about? So she goes into this fucking factory in the middle of the woods. And we get another Achilles kill here. She's walking on this graded platform and Buckethead baby just sticks a fucking like a knife or a screwdriver through her heel, cutting her Achilles, and she goes down. But that is not the end of her. She's still able to like kind of escape. She grabs a pole, throws it at Buckethead's head, which does nothing. And then as she's running away, Buckethead hurls it
right through her fucking head. It goes through car windows.
Goes through 2 car windows and then through her forehead.
Yes.
And Paris is dead.
Pretty sweet kill.
Now, here's something. We were in that chat. We did a live Instagram live before we started recording. And somebody was like, oh, Paris dies on her knee. Like multiple people said that at the same time. Paris dies on her knees, like as a joke. And I was like, is that where we were at in 2005 with humor? Like we were like, oh, get it? She blows a lot of guys. So we're going to kill her on her knee. Like, I think it was, though, because everyone mentioned it. And dies with a pole.
I give Paris credit because she was pretty much hated and not afraid to get murdered on film. Just owned it. Being the slutty person.
I agree. She did not have to do that.
Much props to Paris. Yeah, she did not. I mean, she's
loaded anyway.
Yeah.
And honestly, part of me also, though, does wish she was like, go fuck yourselves. Like, you're going to cast me as the fucking, well, she's such a shitty actress.
There's no way.
Whatever.
No, I give her credit for that.
Yeah, she takes it like a champ. And yeah. So Paris is dead. Everyone's dead. Everyone's dead except Chad Michael Murray
the brother and
Carly.
sister, yeah.
And they're hiding out in a movie theater.
Another thing about this movie to praise, it's fast paced. Like we're pretty far along in this movie now.
Yes.
And
we're approaching the end.
We had nothing to like stall over. It's just like this is this.
Sorry, I can barely breathe out of my nose. All I want to do is blow my nose. So there's nothing to stall over. They do. The pacing is really good. I feel like they leave you hanging on the backstory a little bit. The backstory's pretty interesting. You don't really have like a true motive for these guys and what they're doing. You kind of do, but not really. And we'll get to that shortly. But it's we'll get to that actually like right now because they're hiding out in a movie theater where they're playing Betty Davis. And whatever happened to Baby Jane.
Yep.
Which is an interesting choice. It really set a tone for this scene. And she's singing that I've written a letter to Daddy song. That's awful. And they pose as wax figures in the theater, which is genius. Bo comes in. He can't really identify who's who. He picks Carly out though, aims the gun, she ducks, bullets miss her, and Chad Michael Murray hits him with a bow and arrow. Great fucking
2 bow and arrow movies in a row.
Yeah, actually, you're right. And then he gets him in the shoulder and they get away. And as they're leaving the theater, Bo's right behind him and he just fucking plunks him again in the chest with a bow and arrow. I was like, I was not expecting that either. Bo is donezo for now. Now, at this point, I don't know their plan. Their plan is really convoluted. Like they're like, well, we can escape. And she's like, but we need our cell phone.
Right.
And he's like, but I also think it was like to save the others, maybe a little bit too.
Probably.
But they're really focused on that cell phone though. Like they're like, we got to go get that cell phone from the car.
Right.
Even though they're like, I think it's for the others, but they're really hell bent on getting that cell phone. That would be like what my wife would do if we were in this situation. Like she would be like, well, let's save the others. And I'd be like, yeah, totally. And then she'd be like, but my cell phone's on the way, so I'm just going to grab that first. I'd be like, do you really are you sure you fucking need that right now? But in this scene so they're going to go back and get the cell phone and maybe help the others if they have some time. And then instead they go into the house because the phone's not in the car. So they're like, hey, you know what? Why don't we just go into Wade's house or the house where Wade disappeared, rather.
Yes.
Bo's house. And they collect some guns or try to collect some guns. But she also finds artwork of 2 babies, not artwork, like a newspaper
clippings
of 2 babies
that were
separated at birth. They were Siamese twins. And of course they were connected by Buckethead's face was like glued to the back of Bo's head. And clearly that is why Buckethead has to wear his mask. And I'm talking about the guitarist at this point. This is why he has to wear a mask. How many albums does he have? Like 600?
Well, he released like 200 last year.
Yeah.
It's like one a week. Stupid.
Yeah. So they're in this house. They're like, oh shit. And then Bo somehow makes it home. Bo fucking makes it home with arrows in him. And he takes the arrows out in the most difficult way possible. Because Carly and Michael Murray hide. Like they're hiding in like nooks and crannies. And we get to watch Bo come to the sink. And he has an arrow literally going through his bicep, okay? Like as exactly how you picture it. Mm-hmm. One end out of one end, one end out of the other. The other end with the fucking feathers like the cartoon. The wispy feathers at the end. And he pulls the feathers through his arm instead of the sharp point out.
Right.
And that infuriated me. Because there's no way rubbing those feathers through your fucking wound is going to feel good.
But you think going the other way with the triangle, the wide part going through.
Oh, you think? Oh,
that would hurt.
I didn't even
way
pick
more.
that up. Those were the hunting ones with the 3. Oh, I was imagining just the.
No, you got to go feather.
Oh, you got to go featherweight. You're right. Wow, look at this. This movie covers all of its bases. Matt, you better bump this up a half fucking star. I forgot they make arrows like that, like real arrows, not like gym class arrows that were just like they're lawn darts.
Having high school kids shoot arrows in gym
is insane.
It is 100% insane. There's no way you can monitor all those kids.
Dude, the classes were of 20 kids. I remember it so vividly. There were 20 kids and we're all shooting like, not like totally wildly, but wildly enough.
No, totally wild. You should have seen my fucking gym classes, dude.
It was insane. Why did they ever...
Not as insane as my shop class. That kid that you punched against the wall after he hit you in the nuts. Yeah. I watched him get strangled with an extension cord until he literally turned blue while the teacher was just sitting at his desk going, you should probably stop that now. But dude, that same teacher, what was his name? Williams?
Yes, yeah. Williams.
This is one of my all-time favorite memories ever. He gave us our class was so bad we weren't allowed to use any of the tools. Like every day he'd be like, the other classes are building this and you guys could just sit here because we were so fucking bad. And he finally let us build these shitty rockets and he was like, in order to complete this you have to use hot glue guns. And he was like, He hated it. He was like, I don't want to let you guys use hot glue guns. He's like, they're dangerous. They burn. Like, you can get hurt. And he gave this huge spiel, right? And he's wearing short sleeves. And after he gives this huge spiel about the safety, he's like, can I trust you guys? And we're all like, yes. And he gives it to this kid, Tom, who just squeezes the trigger and hot glue shoots all over Williams' arm. And Williams, I swear to God, he didn't even flinch. He just stood there. He just stood there and leaned forward at Tom, and his face was bright red because you could tell he was in so much pain. He just goes, everybody get back in their seats. And we all just had to sit there in silence. It was so good.
That's so insane. Dude, the shop teachers at our school were so fucking weird. I remember there was a guy, I forget his name. It wasn't Williams, though. He had like white hair. He was a little older. He was a nice guy, but we were like sitting there and he didn't show up. We were like sat there for like 30.
Warner?
Yeah, I think so. One of their daughters married Ray Allen.
That was Williams.
That was Williams. Okay, so it was Williams. So, which makes it even funnier because he was like a hothead, right? And we were sitting there, and he was like 30 minutes late. Like, we're just sitting there, like, where the fuck is this guy? And he finally shows up, and he like staggers in, and his hair's a fucking mess. And I was like, whoa, like this is fucking weird. And one girl like in front of me is like, why does he look like shit? Like just whispers it. And he turns around and he's like, if your wife left you. Yeah, dude.
I know this.
Yeah, because there was a bunch of kids from your grade in that class. He's like, if your wife left you, you look like shit too. And he stormed out of the fucking class. And we were like, what the fuck? And we're all like, I guess we can all go now. So we just left the class.
Yeah, that's Williams.
There was a bunch of kids that we all hung out with in that class. And we were all like, what the fuck? Are you fucking kidding me right now? It was fucking insane. Oh, man. So anyway, Chad Michaels is doing something here. No. So they're Siamese twins. And that's why Buckethead looks like that.
Why did we even get off on that?
Dude, I can't. That's what I was just looking at. I have no fucking idea. I have no fucking idea. I get gym class with the arrows.
Oh yeah, okay.
Man, that's crazy. So Bo and Buckethead comes upstairs while Bo's taking the arrows out of his arm, and we get their dynamic. Very little of it, but we get it. Bo is abusive. He's like, you're a fucking idiot. Why'd you leave? And Buckethead's just like, woo. And Buckethead, though, cool scene, I thought, because Buckethead's face is actually made of wax. That's what that white mask is. And this is an amazing scene because he's just got into a scuffle with whoever. And he's like re-waxing his face. He's like heating up a spoon and melting the wax on his face. He's melting the wax on his face with this spoon and like fixing his mask. And I just thought that was like a really cool scene. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I just thought it was really cool. And they're like, we're going to complete what Mama started. Now, this is where, again, it's a little more vague. They don't really explain what Mama started. Why would Mama have ever started this in the first place?
Right.
Kind of makes no fucking sense. But yeah. Meanwhile, Chad Michael Murray and I hate that we have to say his whole name, because I don't know his name. Chad Michael Murray and what's the sister's name? Carly. They go in the basement and they're like, we got to turn on the lights inside. So they're flipping all of the breaker switches. And meanwhile, Bo and Buckethead are like looking out the window being like, oh, we know where you are. Because they're watching the whole town light. Every light in the town going off and on as they're trying to figure out which breaker to pull for this. So they know exactly where they are. They're in the basement. They meet them downstairs where they find Blake. Blake was Paris's boyfriend.
Yes.
And he's set up on the chair. I love this scene. Oh my God, this scene is so fucking good. I love this movie. So Blake's sitting in this chair, Paris's boyfriend, and Chad Michael Murray sees him and he's like covered in wax, but the process isn't completely done yet. Mm-hmm. And Chad Michael Murray's like, man, I'm going to save you. I'm going to get you out of here. And he's like trying to undo the fucking unit around his head and just breaks his fucking head off.
Off.
Yes. He clear breaks his head off.
In the finger scene in the grate and that scene made Tina like gasp out loud.
Like, it was crazy. That head scene though was probably the most realistic thing I've ever seen, because I can't tell you how many things I've like been trying to fix and be like, okay, all I need to do is just twist this gently, and then the whole thing just snaps. And you're like, what? Son of a bitch. Like, that is 100% what would happen. Like, it was crazy. So Blake is dead, man. Rips off his head. Vincent Buckethead, as you may know him by now, goes down the stairs, and we get our classic fight by the fire and molten wax that we've been waiting about 2 hours for. The wax is now on fire. There's flames starting.
The house is melting.
And they pour the wax in front of Buckethead, separating them, thinking they've isolated Buckethead to this side of the room. Yeah. And they are right, until Buckethead... So this scene is honestly one of the most insane things I've ever seen. So they poured molten wax on the floor. It's on. I don't know if wax catches on fire, but it does here. Wax also explodes in this town, just an FYI. So the wax is on fire, like flames coming out of it on the floor. So Buckethead can't get over it. Mm-hmm. Okay. There's fire everywhere too. And Buckethead grabs a mattress and uses it. He doesn't place it like on top of the wax to walk over. He like uses it as a shield. So he still has to walk over all the fire and molten wax. It made so little sense.
Yes.
It was one of the most insane things I've ever seen. And I totally gave it a pass.
I gave a lot of things a pass in it.
I had
a fun time.
Yeah, same here. They go upstairs where they're fighting with Bo, and the whole house is starting to melt. And there's some amazing effects with this. Buckethead runs in and he finds, they're fighting the brother, and Carly takes a fucking bat.
She bashes this dude's fucking head.
Again, I couldn't believe how violent that was for a theatrical release. No offense, offense to Eli Roth with Green Inferno. Green Inferno was a movie he was like, you won't believe what I did in this. And there's one awesome scene at the beginning. Or is it at the end?
No, it's the first kill.
It's the first kill. Mm-hmm. And it's amazing.
And it should have gone up from there.
And nothing happens after that. It fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Takes its
Dude, I was thinking, that's funny you brought that up, because I was thinking about that today, how like when we first started this podcast, I was so much more like liberal and like my likings things. And then I've just become like hardened and like, I want to go back because fuck Eli Roth. Yeah. And like everything I liked like back then, I guarantee I wouldn't like nearly as much.
No way. And Green Inferno, like it's just not that good. But again, this movie's been brutal from like beginning to end. That's all he needed to do. Right. And instead he didn't.
Right.
I don't know. Like, this is insane. Like, and they're not even done yet. Like,
instead they cooked a man with marijuana in him so the cannibals would get high.
Don't remind me about that shit. So Carly bashes this dude's head in, and it is something out of like an exploitation flick, showing the face. Yeah. Not just Carly getting covered in blood, cutting to this dude's face, turning into a pancake. It's fucking out of control. I could not believe it. Buckethead runs in, finds his dead brother. Then he's like, "Oh, you're dead." So he chases Carly upstairs, and
she tries to like, talk him out of it. Be like, "I saw the clippings. You're not the monster your brother was." Thankfully, it did. So many times that happens in movies, and they're like, "Oh, I am not
That's
the monster."
That's what I thought was going to happen.
And he didn't. He's still like, "Fuck you. Yeah, I'm going to kill you."
Thank God. And really, thank God. And this final scenes is really cool because the whole house is made of wax. The entire house is melting. Everything's soft. They're running up the stairs and it's like peanut butter sticking to their feet. And you're like, it was like just a really cool aesthetic. I found it was so different. It was so different. And then she goes and hides in a room. She closes the door because she's going upstairs. So it's a little cooler. So things are still pretty intact, but they're starting to melt. By the time he gets up there, it's fully starting to melt. He puts a knife in the door and cuts down it like it's chocolate, like butter. Like it's like soft. Like it's just going through it. Yeah, it's amazing. It's such a cool concept. And then when he breaks in through the door, it's peeling away.
Yes.
It's not like a door that you'd crash through. Like it was really a really cool concept that I was just like, that fucking blew me away. And she like jumps on the bed and it's just like up, like just shit. Like it's just insane. I just thought it was really fucking cool. Yeah, and she rips off the mask. We get the reveal, which really didn't reveal a whole lot.
missing half his face.
Worse than Two-Face, or not worse than Two-Face. Two-Face was worse than this guy. This guy's looking all right, actually, frankly.
Chad has a knife stuck in his leg.
Yes, which she pulls out.
Because Vincent is about to, or what do you call him? Buckethead is about to stab Chad.
Yep.
But he gives the old eyeballs to the knife in the leg. She pulls it out, stabs Vincent.
Just as that happens, the floor falls out beneath all of them. The brother, Chad Michael Murray, and Carly fall to one side in a safe area, the only place not melting somehow. And Buckethead falls down the center right on top of Big Brother. And they get swallowed up by the floor.
Yeah.
Now, Carly and Chad Michael Murray, though, are trapped. And I liked it because I was like, there's no way out of this house. And they're like, there's no way out of this house. And I was like, fuck. And then they're like, oh, wait, why don't we just claw through the fucking wall?
That's what they do. This swim through it.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And where they're coming out is through, they had this big House of Wax sign on the building. They're coming out through one of the letters, I think the A in wax. And it's really cool. And as they're coming out of it, the house is also melting and
down.
lowering.
Yep.
So by the time they get out of the letter, they're just crawling onto the ground. They're not falling at all.
Correct.
It is a really, I'm sorry, I thought it was fucking cool.
I agree. Then the police show up. They say the
Cops
town's
and
not on the
ambulances,
map.
which I was shocked. Because usually this is a movie that just ends and you're like, well, how would they clean this up? But we're seeing it. And the cops are like, boy, this is a mess.
Did you like the last reveal?
No. It was fucking terrible. And I had never forgotten about that guy.
No, of course. I love how the cop said it. He's like, there wasn't 2 brothers. There was 3.
Dude,
and
it was
zooms to the fucking Lester.
It was so insane. Yeah, the Chad and...
what's the significance? What is Lester going to do now?
Nothing. He's got nobody and no town and no wax.
It's so insignificant.
Chad and Carly are in the ambulance getting driven away, and this cop who was like, this place isn't even on the map. Because they're like, why did you not know that they were doing this?
And then it zooms to the ambulance. I'm like, well, the brother's going to be like the ambulance driver.
Yes.
But he's not. He's just sitting on the side of the road looking ahead.
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
It makes no sense whatsoever. Makes no sense whatsoever. And that's it, man. Yeah, the cop gets a call. Sir, they don't have 2 sons. They had 3. The cop's like, what? And yeah, Lester's sitting on the side of the road waving goodbye at him. Like, oh. And then it just shows Carly, who's like, oh my God. Her face is like, what the fuck? As if you give a fuck. I'd be like,
hey, fuck
so
your family.
long, never coming back. I don't need to worry about you ever again.
Exactly.
But her face is like, oh my God. And that is, the only thing that pissed me off a lot in this was the final credits dripping down instead of going up. They were really pissed me off, dripping down like wax. They moved down.
Yes.
And that really infuriated me. That really hurt my eyes. So pick out movies for next week.
Let's do it.
Patreon picks. Oh boy, my fucking mic stand's coming out. We have... Oh, they're already picked for us.
Deathbed.
All right, so this week, it's actually been... This week's actually already been chosen. We chose this months ago because we were so excited about these picks. Some of our favoritist fans, Jessie Spearman from Oklahoma. We know her. She chose Deathbed, the bed that eats. Never been more excited.
I can't wait to do that.
Was that our Christmas episode?
Is it?
So no, that would be the week before Christmas. And we are doing our homie from Tennessee, Ashley Moody, her I Hate Hurricanes donation pick, A Gremlins.
Can't wait.
A great Christmas movie.
Tina's going to be so happy.
That you're not watching whatever the bullshit we watch is. So that's it, man. That's a good watch. That's a good watch for us. I'm excited. So two ends of the spectrum here: Deathbed, the bed that eats, and Gremlins. So guys, that's it for this week. I'm holding my mic stand in my hand because it just fell apart on me. So I'm going to end this really fast. Rate, review, subscribe on iTunes. That's the best way to support us. Just getting word of mouth out there. We really appreciate it. If you can't support monetarily, patreon.com/IHateHorror. That's the best way to do it. You can buy some shirts. We just like sold 3 somehow just now. So I don't know what's left. Store.ihatehorror.com. Check that out. What else do we have? Oh, I got to start shouting out genrefix.com. That's our homie that does the intro for the show. You can YouTube it. We're in the music video, sort of. The Tormented Teamster, Them Tapes is what it's called. So thanks for him for allowing us to use that song. And that's it. I'm on Twitter at I Hate Horror Show, Instagram and Snapchat at I Hate Horror.
At Jovi421, Boognish 1985, Horror Show Joe.
And remember, HelloFresh.com, use a code HorrorShow30 for $30 off your first week of deliveries. And that's a wrap for this episode, guys. Thank you so much. Happy holidays. And for Joe, this is Sean. Stay weird.
Thank you.
Adios.
I'm obsessive compulsive, I have to make a mind. Create a shrine, life is short and then you die. I'm gonna watch those tapes again, even though I've seen them like a million times. VHS. Wanna play? I'm gonna watch what I'm not supposed to watch. A fucking zombie getting sliced and diced. A killer. A monster.
Just a fucking idiot. Watching movies all fucking day.
Kill her, mommy.
Another shop teacher lost his wife. Dude, so many of these teachers lost their wives like while I was in classes with them. My 8th grade science teacher lost his wife. And I don't mean lost like dead, like they left them.
Who's that?
I forgot his name. I said it the other day. Mr. Coburn. He had a big fucking mustache, Ned Flanders.
I remember. He
was a fucking asshole. Dude, he had that Peter Frampton Comes Alive album on his fucking, he just left it on like the board because he was like so proud of the LP that he had. It fucking pissed me off so bad. I fucking hated that guy's guts. When he told me he was living in like his sister's basement, I was like, good. I fucking hate you. And, like all these teachers vented to us. Like it was so
unprofessional.
Totally unprofessional. And then the last one was another tech guy from the middle school. He looked like Mr. Bean kind of. He had like black hair. He did like the audio visual.
Oh, wait. No, I was thinking the guy always said Foggy.
No.
You know that guy?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing there? He's like, I haven't the foggiest idea.
It might have been him. I don't know either of those guys' names over there because there was one. The shop and the AV were like right next to each other, and he was like the AV guy, and he also came in, and his hair, like this dude had like Mr. Bean style hair, like combed over all the time, and he came in, and it was literally standing up, and we were like, what the fuck? And he was like, well, last night I had to sleep in my car, so you'll have to excuse my appearance. My wife was very upset with me. What the fuck? What's wrong with these guys?